What a lovely Missouri spring. It's snowing. Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, April 20th. Gamed with my buddies yesterday. It was great fun. Playing some D&D. We're making our way towards the end of that campaign. Now today, there's snow on the ground. It's actually already melting now. Because it's spring, but it was snowing quite a bit earlier, and if you look far, and there's still areas up against the building where it's a fair bit of it, and I mean technically that is still snow in the air coming down, though pretty light right now. You know, just a little springtime snow here for Missouri, as we do. But it's Tuesday, it's movie day, thinking about movies. I'm thinking, okay, what do I want to watch? I don't want to watch. I'm like, I want to watch something good because I'm kind of down. You know, with this, I'm still whiny about my schedule. Maybe it'll be fine. I'm hoping and praying that it'll end up being a blessing in disguise, and I will appreciate having a month of a weird schedule. But, as it hasn't begun yet, I'm still being whiny about it. And at the very least, the transition to it will be annoying. Because it'll be I'm on my 5 days of work, after which I get 1 day off. And I have to work 3 more days before I get an actual weekend. Oh well. But so I'm kind of down. I'm fighting against this, and you know, and it reminds me of a story. You know, there were 2 mice. And they fell into a bucket of cream. Now, one mouse quickly gave up and drowned, but that second mouse, he struggled and struggled until he turned that cream into butter and walked out. So today I am going to be watching Catch Me If You Can, which is a fantastic movie. One of the ones, I mean, I saw it in theaters. I mean, it came out, when did it come out? 2003, maybe? Probably. So, I mean, 17 years ago. It's actually more recent than my mind says. Still, so what was I? I don't know, I guess that's still a while ago. I was in high school still. You know, I'd gotten into high school at that point. But, I don't really remember much of that time of life. Medicine for an attention deficit will remove some memories. So, you know, that was the period. But I do remember that I went and saw it in theaters. I don't remember much about it from that point. But I have watched it over and over many times. It has long been a movie that I have loved. But it's probably been a couple of years since I've watched it now. So I'm going to watch Catch Me If You Can. Fantastic. I would give Catch Me If You Can 9.2 out of 10. It's a wonderful movie. From the back of the box. Inspired by the extraordinary true story of a brilliant young master of deception and the FBI agent hot on his tail, Catch Me If You Can stars Oscar nominee Leonardo DiCaprio and 2-time Academy Award winner Tom Hanks in one of the year's most acclaimed hits. From 3-time Oscar-winning director Steven Spielberg, Catch Me If You Can follows Frank W. Abagnale Jr. as he successfully passes himself off as a pilot, a lawyer, and a doctor, all before his 21st birthday. Story of a con man. Our hero, our main character, is a villain. I mean, he's a criminal. Blatantly. But he has intelligence. He's incredibly perceptive of the world around him, of people, of how people interact, of what people do and think and notice. He's incredibly charismatic. The smile and charm. Leonardo DiCaprio, wonderful. Tom Hanks as our FBI agent, his foil, the one chasing him throughout the film. Both wonderful. Not to be sold short, Christopher Walken, his father, who he perhaps learned some of the first aspects of conning people from. Wonderful. Now, not mentioned in that little blurb is John Williams. Music by John Williams. And the music in this movie is wonderful. It's a bit jazzy. It has that kind of almost chase feel at times. Like where it feels like the music itself is chasing. It's a score not unlike any that I think of from anything else. And yet it's perfect for what the movie is. Yeah, so the movie starts with Frank Abagnale Jr. as you see little bits of his life as his father's business runs upon hard times. His parents get divorced. And he runs away. Things are falling apart and he runs away. And he starts doing check fraud. That's his thing. He's stealing money through check fraud. And that's where this FBI agent comes along. Because that's his department. He's catching that. And along the way, one of the things his father has said to him, why do the Yankees always win? I think they mentioned the name of whatever that sports team big game is. Anyways, but why are they? It's like whatever. And they say the name of whatever sports player. I don't know sports. But he's like, no. It's because they're always distracted by the pinstripes. It's the uniform. The way you look affects what people think of you. Your appearance can change things. And so he takes on the appearance of a pilot. Takes a co-pilot, rides along, cheating the airline system. He does that for a long time. Floating around the country to cash checks. Using the way that the checking system used to work, where the check would literally be mailed across the country to whoever that bank was from to verify it. Brilliant. Smart man. Learning these things by conning people along the way to get information. Story progresses as such. Back and forth with the chase. This FBI agent getting close. Frank getting away. FBI agent Carl Hanratty getting close. Frank getting away. Eventually, Frank finds his way into a hospital and sees a cute nurse. poses as a doctor. Ooh, even more dangerous profession to take on when you're not skilled for it. But, simple job, babysitting interns, which essentially just get to hopefully do everything right. Falls for her. Goes back to her home, her parents, to go back to being a lawyer. Gonna pose as a lawyer. Gonna marry the girl. And again, Hanratty catches up with him. And there is a moment that my heart breaks. Because this is based on a true story. It does give you the little blurb at the end of the movie about, since this has happened, here's the things. And it mentions, he's married with 3 kids. And that's good. It's really important that they said that. Because while our main character, Frank, is criminal and a villain, he is also very charismatic. And as I watch the movie, I care for him as a character. I don't like his pain. And at the point where he is going to get married, he wants out. He wants to step away from this fraud. He wants to settle down and have a normal life. And he's still a kid. He's been doing it for a couple of years. He's what, 17, 18 at that point? He's a kid. But, this girl doesn't know what to do. At the point where he's going to have to run away. He wants her to come with him. And as an audience member, as someone watching the movie, I want her to go with him. I want that to work out. And it breaks my heart that it doesn't. But he flees. Deceiving them again. Again, using clever tricks and distractions. Sneaks right out under their nose. Goes international. Story speeds up here. We're skipping through bits as he's traveling quickly. He's across Europe doing fraud. And he's caught by Hanratty in France. He gets caught. The movie actually starts with him caught. The movie starts with, this bit at the end where Hanratty is trying to get him out of the French prison to extradite him back to the United States. That's actually where they begin. And you're hearing this story knowing he's going to get caught. So it catches up to that moment. He's now in France and he's caught. And so now, the end has met the beginning. And we're pretty near the end of the movie. But this last chunk of story means the world to me. You see some bits here where even so, as being caught, he flees again multiple times. But he's lost, and he's a kid. And he's tired of running. They catch up with him as he's getting to his mother's. Seeing her there. Perhaps learning maybe he has a baby sister he's never met, never known of. As his mother's gotten remarried. He turns himself in. Goes to prison. But they don't end it there. This is so important. The movie then shows the point where he is visited by this FBI agent who spent a couple of years chasing him. Probably cares for him. I think he does. See, Frank Sr. died while Frank was running around Europe. Or in prison, or somewhere around that time. So by the time he's returned home, he no longer has his father. And Hanreddy, well, he's separated from his wife and doesn't get to quite spend the time with his daughter that he'd like. I think there's some connection there. At least in the movie. Who knows about real life? But there's a connection there. So he visits him. And for fun, he shows him a check. A new job. A new chase. But Frank's smart. Frank notices things. And so the work begins to get Frank out of prison and in his custody to work for the FBI. And you see a little bit of a moment at a point where Frank is like, what do I do? You get to the weekend, okay, what do I do over the weekend? Because this is a kid who has lived, he ran away from home and he lived the most extreme, outrageous, expensive life you could imagine. And from there, was put into prison over a couple of different countries in misery. How does he just live like a normal person weekend? And heading towards our last scene, he's walking away to be a pilot. Is he running again? Carl catches up with him. Lets him go. He points out the life ahead of him if he runs. And then you get the moment on Monday morning where he's not back. Carl is so stressed. And he's talking about this new unsub, this new person they're chasing. And there's a few scenes, a few moments, a few beats, great beats. Oh, is he back? Is he cut? No. Oh, is he? And then there he is. He comes back. And they get a little banter. They have a new chase. You see here the connection they've made over that chase. And so our main character is now on the good guy's side by the end. I don't know, I guess I'm just saying what bits of the plot are, but I think in my tone, my emotion, that's how I feel about it. And I mean, I've left so much of the movie out, but those are just points that I see as I go through the movie, and it sends me all... It's good. I care about the characters, the people. And the movie brings me joy. But I've rambled on and long enough about it. It's late. I'm gonna call it a night. Thank you for joining me, and joining me as my journey continues. Bye.